Welcome to Deep Thought. Truly smart people solve problems. You know what? I find interesting? People who present themselves as the smart guy. Like they so smart. And on the surface, it might seem like they are. Because they can argue a point and everything. They can argue a point. Or they have a lot of information. See, understand something. Somebody could have information. It doesn't mean they're smart. Because a truly smart person solves problems. They can think. Because going through life, information is important. Being able to argue the information, okay, fine. Can you solve a problem? And you know what made me think about that, right? Because, I'm mostly known for talking about relationships. Yeah, I wish this was the main channel. Well, one day it will be. I'm going to keep working on it. But, people, you get a lot of guys, they call themselves smart. And, they're smarter. Like, especially they'll say they smarter than the guys who are getting the women. Why these women want those dumb guys? Well, the guys can't be that dumb if they figured out how to get women. I mean, seriously, because smart is more than just your information or even your IQ score. They are important, but smart is being able to solve problems. Because going through life, we always have an issue. Like, how often have we seen someone who might have been great in school or a supposedly high IQ on paper, but if you look at their lives, it's no good. I remember years ago, saw this story about this guy. Now, he was supposed to have this astronomical IQ. People say he's smart, but he's working in a menial position. I'm like, wait a minute. Yet, other people in that position, other people who have a less on paper intelligence are making money. Like, this is something I learned from some attorneys. Or law school graduates, rather. The saying was, the A students become professors, the B students become judges, and the C students make all the money. That's the intelligent thing, because if you're going to measure someone's intelligence, I measure it by how well that they think. And some people say book smarts, street smarts. And honestly, you need a combination of all smarts. Yeah, you can having information is great. Doing well with that information and, passing tests is great. How well are you doing in life? In fact, I remember another young lady I knew from when I was in school, straight A's. She would brag about the straight A's. I'm trying to hit her on it. She's showing me her report card. And then I remember after she graduated, I saw her and she was miserable. She had a job at a prominent firm, accounting firm, very prominent, well known. But she was miserable. She ended up leaving that and doing stuff more artsy. But that was actually smart. See, when we come across problems, yes, we can get all the information and we can do well on tests. But then when an actual problem happens, when an actual issue we need solved happens, how do you solve it? Like, let me get back to that relationship thing. Because like I said, you get some guys and they say they so smart. Why are these women going for these thugs or these guys who aren't as smart? The guys are smart enough to get the women. If a truly smart guy would say, okay, what can I do to get the women? They would solve the issue. And it would take a combination. That's actually more street smarts, because social intelligence is very high, very important. In fact, I'm going to talk more about social high IQ in my next video. But they will figure out how to solve it. It's like, you have a problem there. How do I solve it? What do I do? What do I do? Like, okay, I'm known for promoting body gain. An intelligent person would say, wait a minute. Women tend to pay more attention to a man with a nice body. I'm having trouble getting women. Let me go hit the gym. And then leave it at that. Leave it at that. Because it's seriously. And then let's take it to beyond relationships. Like I mentioned, I never forget the story of this high IQ guy, and I can't remember the dude's name. But, and people have probably seen that. People who did well, had that high on paper IQ, but they end up working for someone else. They didn't solve the issue. In fact, let me tell you another story about that. When I was working retail, I had this guy working under me, and he was literally a rocket scientist. He's literally, I mean, this was just an extra money job for him. But he did all this extra stuff to do something basic I had him do. I was like, and he trying to do all this stuff. I was like, dude, you're not solving the issue. You making it difficult. In fact, we had another woman. She was actually a college professor. She made everything so difficult trying to do this and that. I was like, this is easy. You know, you're not solving the problem. You know, and then let me be clear. This is not to go against people who are educated or something. I'm very educated. But then there's some issues you could solve with that knowledge. But then there's some other issues. See, you want to be smart in a holistic way. You can solve life problems, you know? And sometimes it's not that deep. Sometimes it's not that deep. Like if someone says, well, I'm in this debt, how do I solve that? Make more money and figure out a way to pay it down. It's not that deep. And see, that's another thing too. The answer to any problem doesn't have to be complicated. Sometimes it's simple, you know? Like I remember this joke. I remember this joke. It was about the American and Russian space programs. And there was an issue, apparently there's some type of issue like writing stuff in space, writing stuff down in zero gravity and everything. I'm not sure what it was exactly. It makes sense. Maybe the ink wouldn't stay settled. I don't know. So NASA spent all this money trying to figure out some type of pen. This was the joke. It might have actually happened. Try to figure out some type of pen that could write in space. Like millions trying to figure out something. I don't know the ultimate thing, because I don't know if it was just a joke or, something that happened. Maybe I could look it up or something. But they kept doing all this. Right? That was the joke. They spent millions of dollars. The Russians just used a pencil. Seriously, it's not that deep. So when you get truly smart people, a truly smart person just solves the problem. They, however they do it. Sometimes you do got to think on a complicated level. Sometimes it might just be a simple thing. It's not that deep, And in fact, I know I probably annoy some people. People hit me up private. They'll hit me up privately asking some, usually some relationship question, and they'll have a long list of stuff. And I usually answer the question. Some of y'all might be able to attest to it. I answer the question in a sentence. Even when they follow up, I say it's not that deep. Seriously, but that's how you gotta look at it. Truly smart people. Because ultimately, when we get the education, when we get the knowledge, it's so that when we reach situations where there's an issue, we have the tools to solve it. We have the tools to solve it, And that's the important thing. At the end of the day, we got to solve the problems that come up. So, anyway, I want y'all to really think about that, and I'll get back with y'all tomorrow. Peace and blessings.